I study a lot, but my speaking does not improve. Teacher Prix, how can I change that? Well, watch this video and find out. Hey there, I'm Teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. If you have already subscribed, I appreciate it. Thanks for trusting in me, If you have already done so, make sure to, smash that like button. But let's talk about good stuff, right? I study and I study and I study. But my English speaking does not get better. Well, this is more common than you may think. And there are many reasons. I'm going to explain a few of them today, okay? My microphone is a little different today, the position, but okay. Now, guys, here on my channel, maybe you don't know me so well. Maybe it's your first time watching this lesson. But here on my channel, I help pre-intermediate and intermediate students to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. And guys, this is a tough level. It's not easy. I understand. Because this is the moment when students start to focus on the quality of their speaking skills. And some of them, even though they study hard, they try to learn, they don't get better. And it can be really, really frustrating to try, but not get the results you're looking for. And this is what I wanted to be talking about today, why this may be happening to you. That's the focus of this lesson. And this is something that I talk to my students from the academy. I have an online program, the Real English Academy. This is something that I talk to my BSA, my students, all the time. With my students, I organize my method in a way that they're always working on their English speaking. Because if your English speaking is not improving, even though you study a lot, we need to pay attention to your speaking habits. And with my students from day one inside the academy, I condition them to build the habit to speak in their practice every time they study. So they need to establish a solo speaking practice. They're studying alone. It's not a private lesson. We have live activities. I get together with my babies 3 times a month. But during their study time, they have to follow my recommendations if they want to succeed. Now, that being said, the first explanation here, and I'm going to give recommendations to help you change it, okay? But I need to explain a few things here. I study a lot. Okay, reason number 1, you study too passively. You want to improve? And this is really painful because, okay, Priscilla, I study and I study and I study. Well, that will be meaningless if the way you study is too passively. One thing that I repeat a lot here on my channel is to learn a lesson, I must use it. If you never get to the action time, even if you are alone, no matter how much you study, you could be studying for hours. And I believe you, okay? I absolutely believe you. But if you only receive information, if you're only receiving, you don't do anything about it, you're going to be stuck. You're going to feel like that. As the title of the video says, I study a lot, but I don't improve. So this is one of the most common problems students who study alone have, They expect to speak simply by reading and listening. So, okay, so if I just read every day, watch some videos on YouTube, or if I read in English, every day I read a little, and that's wonderful. And if I just listen to some videos on YouTube or on Instagram or social media in general, that's it, and I spend hours, teacher. Come on, what's wrong with me? Well, that's too passive, okay? And here, guys, one word that I really like about this, and it's something that I do with my students inside the academy, is to add a little bit of pressure. Under pressure. You need to add a little bit of pressure in your study time. If you're too comfortable studying, it's just another day. I'm just gonna study. I'm just gonna read. Well, don't get me wrong. I love reading. I think reading is quite important. That's not what I'm talking about. But we need to add a little pressure, okay? Oh, Priscilla, what's that supposed to mean? I'm going to share a few insights here with you guys, but one thing that I do with my BSA is they have different instructions to work on their speaking. They can't only read or listen. They need to integrate all the English skills. I talk a lot about this here, okay? On my channel, on my social media. It's about integration. It's about, okay, getting a lesson, connect the lesson with your life, and integrate all the English skills in the process, even if you are alone. Because sometimes people may think, oh, but I don't have anybody. Lonely. I know, I get it, okay? Even if you are alone, even if you don't have a speaking partner, this integration is supposed to happen, okay? So they need to integrate it. They have a speaking routine alone. In addition, they have the conversation classes. This is not your case. You're not a BSA. Okay, I get it. Fine. But changing the way you establish your study routine, taking it out of the passive zone and bringing a little bit more action, making yourself, pushing yourself a little forward, making yourself speak a little bit, that is going to add this pressure element that you need so much if you want to go to the next level, okay? That's a very important thing. Oh my goodness, where am I? And I will give more recommendations, but the second thing is, and this is connected to the first one, and that is you never speak, okay? So we have the first element, which is to study too passively. You may read some notes, you may do some grammar exercises, you may watch some videos. Maybe right now it's your moment to connect with English. So right now you're watching my lesson. You decided to give me a chance. Well, hello, thank you. I appreciate it. So this is your moment. Right now you're receiving. That's passive. What you do about the lesson, that's action, okay? And this is what I wanted to say. And here, this is connected to number one because that's being passive. You never speak. Because you have that mindset, you have that belief that, okay, but I don't live abroad. I don't have a teacher. I don't have friends to practice with me. So, well, that's it. This is it. You do what you got to do. So I'm just going to read stuff. Well, that's not going to work. So if you never speak because you don't have anyone, you will end up not working on speaking. And here, guys, this is the thing, because this problem leads to another problem. When opportunity presents itself to you, when opportunity comes knocking, you freeze and you study. So it's frustrating because, okay, you're studying, but then you don't practice your English speaking. You never speak. And then when opportunity comes, when you get a phone call, hey, would you like to have a job interview? But it's going to be in English. I can't. I don't know how to do this. I'm not ready. Or then you travel and then a stranger is walking down the street and starts talking to you and you freeze. You panic. No, I can't do it. Why? Because you're not preparing yourself. And if you fail to prepare, you are preparing yourself for failure. This is not mine. I saw it somewhere on the internet. So if you fail to prepare yourself for future opportunities, get ready. You're going to fail when they come. And you're always going to have that feeling like, oh man, again, I missed it again. Oops, I did it again. Guys, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to share another reason here. Subscribe if you're interested, if you want organization, if you need some ideas to turn your practice into something more active. Make sure to get my study plan cycle. The 21-day study plan cycle is designed to help you take action, designed to help you come up with a way to study more actively. So check the link in the description. But let's keep rolling. Number 3. You study, but your English does not improve. How to change that? Well, let's understand this one. And then I'll be talking about a few recommendations. Actually, I'm already giving recommendations as I describe these issues. Take notes and take action, okay? Now, you get too worried about mistakes. You may have tried to speak by yourself. Maybe that's your situation. Priscilla, I tried. I watched a different video where you talked about this, and then I decided to record myself speaking. But when I listened, holy smokes, it was ridiculous. It was ugly. It was bad. I stuttered. I did this. It was just bad, teacher. So I stopped because I didn't like my voice. So I felt really, really sad, and I don't know. I just disconnected from the activity. And this is going to make you keep studying, trying to get to perfection, trying to get to that imaginary place where your English is perfect and nothing changes, okay? So maybe you tried and then you think, oh my God, my speaking is awful. And then you stop because you're so consumed by the stress, by the anxiety of making mistakes that you end up not giving yourself a chance to practice your English speaking. So guys, at the end of the day here, what I'm trying to make you understand by sharing these experiences is that how to change that will come down to action. Will come down to the decision you have to make of getting out of the passive way to study and implementing a little bit more of challenge, a little bit more of pressure in the way you study. So I study Italian every week. Sometimes I study more, sometimes I study less. I have the same problems you guys do. And every time I sit down to study by myself, I include pressure. I include a little bit of speaking. I get out of my comfort zone. What is my comfort zone? Oh, grabbing the book, writing information. Oh, new word. Oh, fun. That's comfortable. Oh, grammar explanation. Oh, okay. Let me watch. Oh, take notes. Oh, good job, Priscilla. Oh, let me listen to a video. Nice. This is too comfortable. But when you get out of the comfort zone, when you include a little bit of speaking, oh my God, your brain is on fire. Then things start to change, okay? That's very important. I can't emphasize this enough. So it's about changing the way you study, changing your study routine. Because if you and changing mindset, getting too worried about the mistakes. I listen to my voice messages in Italian sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to work on this. Hey, I need to change this word. I use this word too much. No, this word's not nice. I need to change that word. In English too. I do the same in English. I record myself speaking in English because here I'm working. I'm not doing the things I enjoy in English, talking about subjects I enjoy, following my method. Here I'm just working. So I record myself speaking in English and then I listen. I'm like, oh, okay, I used this too much. This phrase was not good. But let's work. Let's keep going. So this element of pressure, this element of, okay, let me just stop just receiving information and start using. Okay, this is, I cannot emphasize this enough. So let's say I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I made a video here about expressions, or phrasal verbs. Awesome. Did you use them? Did you take the time to perhaps write down? There are 2 ways to be more active, but as I am talking about speaking, it's important to speak your example. So I learned an expression. Okay, now let me test. Let me put a little bit of pressure. Let me record myself and use that expression that I learned in the video. Can I do it? Oh, it's too hard. I agree, it is too hard. But if you never try, it'll always be too hard. So start small. Start with some phrases. Start with describing things around you, things you enjoy, and build up momentum so that you can strengthen your English speaking. Preparing for a job interview, think about the questions you have to know how to answer. And don't just write down your answers. That's not speaking. That's writing. Does writing help you with the English speaking? Absolutely. But we need to add the pressure. And this pressure only comes when you Get the words out of here, not out of here. Because when you write, you have more time to think. And when you speak, you don't have so much time to think. So preparing for a job interview, that's what I would do. Oh, I'm preparing for a conference, for a meeting. Well, give yourself the meeting. Talk about the things you want to present. This will make your brain learn to process information more quickly. So here, what can be done? A speaking routine. At the end of the day, I go back to routine. I go back to habits. What are your speaking habits like? So you need to practice answering questions that will get you out of your comfort zone. This is also important because if you stick to, oh, do you like pizza in your speaking practice? Fine, but that's not going to work, okay? Oh, do you like TV? Oh, yes. What's your favorite TV show? Oh, my favorite TV show is Stranger Things. When do you watch Stranger Things? Oh, I watch Stranger Things on Sundays. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Okay? That's not... No. When I say answer questions that are more difficult. Okay? And you have Google in your favor. You can search and find millions of questions in English based on different subjects for you to answer. Answer 3, 4 questions every time you sit down to study. You study 3 times a week, do it 3 times a week. Answer questions 3 times a week. That's going to work. It's going to change the game for you. I'm telling you. Listen to your recordings, but have an open mind, okay? There will be mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. Take advantage of the fact that you can listen to yourself. Pay attention to your shortcomings, to the things you did wrong, and study them. And then do it again, and then practice again. This is how we prepare for real life. And if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to come back here 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, a year later, and you're still going to feel like I studied, but nothing changes. And I want this to be different. I want this year to be different for you. I don't know when you're watching this, if it's 2024, 2027, 2030, but I want this to change for you so that you can feel fulfilled, so that you can feel that sense of satisfaction that, wow, I made a change. I was consistent, and now I am getting better. I'm not perfect. I'm not promising perfection, but I'm promising you that if you take these actions consistently, you will notice the difference. Have an open mind. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, get my study plan cycle. But other than that, my friends, I'll see you next time. Bye.